Trigger warnings. This episode goes very deep into depression and suicidal thoughts and idealizations. If you are not in a good spot, you can always text, or call or text 988. It's a helpline. They are always there for you. This episode is really dark and deep. If any point throughout the episode you need to stop, take a break, or just be done, feel free to do so. We love you all so much, and be well.
We're back.
This is Rita,
And this is Tyler.
and welcome to the Neurosafe Podcast.
Here we are.
We're glad you're here.
That was like the perfect transition. I don't know about you, but
I think we
I'm
did
feeling
fabulous.
22. Everything gonna be alright if you keep dancing till we're 22. Ooh, I had to get the note pulled up. That was their intro to that.
So let's get started with some
Highs.
and lows. I think this should be a low for both of us. We're a little sick. So sick we can't smell from our nose.
Yeah.
And we're stinky.
Apparently we're stinky.
Oh my god, that's our low, is that we're stinky.
Yeah, because
we're like sitting in my bedroom right now.
Yeah.
And she calls my boyfriend up to listen to me blowing my nose and sounding like an elephant.
Yeah.
Totally normal things. And he walks in and he's like, who didn't shower? We both just like slowly
raise our hand. And literally this morning we were like, I don't even know what we were talking about. But we were talking about how like, oh,
we don't stink.
Yeah. And she's
because it was with the deodorant thing.
She's telling me like, oh, you don't stink. I was like, oh, thank you. Like that actually feels good.
I was like I've never like smelt you like stinky before.
And like I know like I've smelled and like, you know,
yeah,
you just like hope that like actually,
yeah,
like, you know, you can smell.
And
yourself.
I was like, I don't think I ever smell bad. No one ever tells me I smell bad.
No, like I've never. And then
we're
sitting here and he's like, someone smells.
He's like, it literally smells like BO in here, and you guys like have the fan on and you're just spreading it around.
And I'm like sitting in his spot in his bed and I'm like, oh my gosh, this makes me feel awful. I've never had someone like.
And he's like, I know it's not me. I showered today. And we're like,
And we literally got done saying how like,
yeah,
men smell after doing nothing.
Yeah, and we're like, we never smell. We're just girls.
We're just girls. We don't have to shower every day.
Yeah, so she sprayed some stuff. I lit some candles, and we're definitely gonna have to shower.
Yeah.
He did tell me that I should shower before bedtime, so.
Yeah.
And we gotta get going on this. He's gonna pop in here and say it's bedtime any minute.
Gosh. Okay, sorry.
Not any minute, but.
Yeah, so that's definitely a low, but you definitely been sick.
Yeah. It's just teacher life being sick, honestly.
Yeah, constantly.
But my high is my lasagna.
It was damn good.
It was really good. You don't even like lasagna.
No.
You liked it.
It was good.
My boyfriend and I made this lasagna. It took like hours, like 4 hours to make. And it was a labor of love. And it was really good. We're both like super proud of it. Mm-hmm. We loved our lasagna. And he even was like, you should have been TikToking this. And I was like, you don't want to be on TikTok. He said, my hands. I said my hands could be in TikTok. And I was like, it's too late now. We lost 4 hours of footage, but
just can't show the ending. Yeah. I mean, you could have. Then you'd be like, okay, well, if you want me to make it.
Yeah.
But.
And then my other high was being my family. I felt so much love this morning. Mm. My brother FaceTimed me. My sister called. My parents called.
And it wasn't for, like, a reason.
Yeah.
You know? It was
like, all
just,
of it
like,
was just
check-ins.
Yeah.
It was cute.
Yeah. So, those are my highs and my lows.
My low is, I know last week we talked about having, or like something I was going to work on was like being tidy.
Yep.
And my week again was so busy where if I didn't do it during the weekend, there was no time to do it in my schedule besides like my resting time.
Yeah.
That I had to myself. And I don't choose to do cleaning at that time. So that's obviously something I could work towards. But so my room was just a mess. So ever since I've been depressed, which like 5 weeks ago now, 4 weeks, it's been a month.
Yeah.
My room has just been the same. And it's stressful. It makes your mind hurt. So I'm really looking forward to cleaning it tomorrow.
Yeah.
And having a reset and like not having a messy life or a messy room.
But on a high note, what are your highs?
The sunrises and sunsets this week have been pink and orange, and they've been beautiful. Mm-hmm. And I've taken a picture probably of like all of them.
I love that you're becoming like a sunrise sunset girly. I've always been one, and I just love that you're becoming one.
Yeah.
And like you said, the sun was out too.
Well, yes, and the sun out. Like, oh, I literally just like sit there with my eyes on the
Yeah.
sun. Like,
Yeah.
oh, it's amazing. The weather is so amazing here.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Ketchup.
Catch up?
No, no, no. Do you have to do it like a knock knock joke?
Catch up who?
Catch up with you.
Okay, that was good.
That was the
That's
joke.
why you were looking up freaking knock knock jokes.
Yeah, but I sent it to my brother too.
Oh, okay.
And I said, catch up with you later.
That's
Because it's
really
like the
cute.
end of our conversation.
I like it. That was
Yeah.
good.
Thank you. Thank
Mhm.
you. You almost messed it up though.
I did. I'm sorry. I was like,
I
okay.
was like, do you know how a knock knock joke works?
No, but should we tell them should have been our high.
Oh.
We have both microphones working, both
Yeah.
headphones working. We have all computers going on right now. My phone is doing the visual
The
video,
video.
and it should be a million times better.
Oh.
And we have your phone as our notes,
Yeah.
and everything is working.
This should be the best sounding podcast you've ever heard. And if it's not, lie to us.
Yes.
Tell us it sounds immaculate.
Because our tech person helped us through a lot last night.
Yeah.
And
then today everything clicked for Tyler.
I was like, I figured
I mean,
it
it
out.
almost clicked. We did have some bumps.
Yeah.
But we got there in the end.
And
we persisted.
And we knew it. We were like, don't get mad.
We're like, we're all there.
Don't get mad.
Yeah, there was a lot of deep breathing.
I was like, don't laugh right now.
Because it's healthy to laugh.
It is healthy.
Yeah.
And we figured it out, and I'm just so happy.
Yeah.
Can
I tell them like our secret though?
Yeah, you can tell the secret.
Okay, so like first when we first got the microphones and we were so excited, only one of them was working, and we thought like one of us like each week we're like flipping back and forth. We're like, oh, you were talking so quietly, you got to speak up.
Yeah.
But really, just one of the microphones was working, and so that was the first problem.
And like we didn't realize it until after we published the podcast. So we were like, we couldn't like fix our error in the moment because we're like, oh, what microphone did we use? We don't know.
Yeah. So then we started just using one microphone,
which meant we couldn't have two headphones.
Yes. So then we just had our headphones on. We wanted to look professional.
So like for a handful of the episodes, we like nothing was coming out of our headphones, so we oftentimes had like one ear out.
Yeah, I do have one ear out now though. Like I kind of like being able to hear the real world and the podcast world.
I love it all in me right now.
Yeah, but also like if you watch the videos closely, like you can see, especially Tyler. I did it sometimes, but especially Tyler, like she'd play with the cord, and you could see like that like they weren't plugged in. Yeah. Oh, this is an embarrassing secret, but I love it. I love the honesty.
Yeah, and then to another thing in our cycle of podcasting right now.
Yeah.
Like my computer battery, something's wrong with it.
Oh my god, the motor on your computer earlier, I was like, is my house something wrong? No,
like it sounds like a plane.
Yeah.
And it's a newer computer and like a good computer.
It's way newer than my computer.
Yeah, it's way newer than yours. And it's a Pro, so like it's in the name.
Yeah.
And it dies. Something's wrong. And the battery says it's healthy. So I'm like, I don't know. I'm going to go to Apple. I'm going to get it figured out.
Yeah.
But half the time the computer dies on us mid-episode.
Yeah.
And we're going to go through a whole episode today. And it's going to be amazing.
Everything's great. I love this.
Love life. Yeah. So that's just catching up with us.
Yeah.
I got more, but do you want to start?
Sure. You wanted me to fill in from the other episode about, because you're talking about your like tampon packing or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And what I had said about team bonding. So
yes. Yeah, so check out the past episode when I talked about like
making
building
tampon boxes for people in need. And I said that's so cool that you're doing that with your team, because it's actually the perfect team building activity. Because when you're trying to build a team, you want to build that camaraderie. And when you're doing something for others, it spikes a lot of the happy chemicals in your body. And then you're like sharing that and making that connection with your team. So it's not like you're just doing stuff together and like getting happy chemicals. You're doing something together for other people and getting like so many chemicals because as humans, we're social creatures. So doing things for others is like super good for us. Like that's why it feels so good to like donate or give someone a compliment or like
Mhm.
hold the door open for someone. Like we get those like signals back from our body that that's good because humans can't really survive on their own. We need that community.
Mhm.
So
And at first I was like, I was like, why are we building tampon kits? Like, I obviously
yeah,
knew it was a good deed that we were doing, but I'm like,
yeah,
it seemed odd as like a team bonding activity. And then she explained that. I was like, okay, that makes so much
yeah.
sense.
That's why a lot of times, like, regardless of how you feel about churches, they are a really good, strong community for people. And one of the reasons is because they're often doing things for other people.
Mhm.
Like they're doing fundraising, they're going and
Mhm.
volunteering for stuff, they're like
There's always
helping out
like a
homeless. Like,
ministry, like
yeah,
what's it called? Missionary
yeah,
work doing something
yes,
like that too.
exactly. Like that's why churches are often like really strong communities for people.
Hmm.
And as in America and really all around the world, as membership and like people going to churches goes down, you'll see a big correlation with like people's sense of community
Hmm.
because churches used to kind of be like the center point of communities and like that's going away, which if church isn't your thing, that's fine. But like you do need to find that community
And I
elsewhere.
feel like we talked about this in the past too. Like,
Yep.
it goes along with third place.
Yep.
Like, obviously, churches used to be people's third place,
Yes. Yep.
and some still are. But like, we need to
Yeah.
find our third place where you have that built-in community.
Yeah, for sure. But so just a little
Yeah,
take on
catch up.
from the previous
It was a
episode.
little catch up from last
A
week.
little catch up from last week. Don't worry, it's
Duh.
not expired.
Good
um,
one. That was funny.
thanks. But so my other thing is catching up. So it was my birthday,
Hmm.
and my sister's gift came like a little after my
I
birthday.
have to look at it.
Oh my gosh, I do.
We'll look at it
Yes, I'll have to
later.
look at it later. But it's so good. It was such a good gift. It came in like a big box, and like the first thing I opened was so her and I were like trying to convince my mom to take us to one of the Taylor Swift era shows like overseas and we weren't successful unfortunately, but she sends a thing like, so since we're not going to be seeing another era show in 2024, I'm bringing it to you. And then she had 12 separate things for all the different eras um wrapped up and like they would be like different lyrics from the song. So like for the Midnight's era for Bejeweled, she got me little earrings, or for Folklore, one of the songs is Cardigan, so she got me a cardigan. Or
Sorry for the hassle. You know how you have hip issues?
yeah,
I have knee issues.
yeah. Are those my socks?
No, they're mine.
Oh, okay. Those are just the socks I was wearing earlier.
Didn't
Like
you
the
see
same
me
kind.
put them on?
No.
Everyone has these socks.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, but so it was just like one of the best gifts ever, and it was like full of confetti, and like I took a video to like share with her of like me opening it, and it it was so funny. And then I'm like talking to my boyfriend on the side, and the best gift I've ever given was to her, and like it's kind of in a similar vein. I couldn't go down to see her for her birthday, so I did a birthday party in a box, and it had so much confetti in it and my sister and her boyfriend at the time, now he's her fiance, um, and baby daddy, and that was weird. I've never referred to him as that. Weird. Anyway, they were literally finding that confetti in their apartment until the day they moved out, like
That's so
years
crazy.
later. Like I left a impact on them, but it had like champagne and like cake mix, and like it was just like the best gift I've ever
Isn't
made.
it illegal to ship champagne?
It did not have champagne.
It did. Okay, okay.
And my sisters also did not have champagne, and it did not come with sparkles to put in the champagne.
Okay, okay.
But
Fuck.
that didn't happen.
Are you lying?
I don't want to get in trouble with the law.
Oh, okay.
So there was no champagne in it.
Got it.
Yeah.
I want sparkles from a champagne.
I'll show you. Yeah, it's so cool.
That is so fun.
Yeah, but it is just like the best birthday gift
Is
ever.
that like in correlation with the song like Champagne Problems?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
can we drink it and listen to that song?
Yeah, of course. Of course.
That sounds like the best night.
Yeah.
Champagne with glitter,
Yeah.
listening to that song.
Yeah.
I love that song.
Yeah, me too.
I have a confession.
Oh, yeah.
I think you've turned me into a Swiftie. Like,
Yes! Wait a minute.
I really love the music.
Yes. I'm. This is a proud Swiftie moment. Want everyone to just soak this in.
And like, you know, like
If you're
at
not a Swiftie
first,
yet, I'm coming for
like at first when
you.
she's like this full ass Swiftie and like I didn't understand. I
You
didn't
were so
understand.
supportive. You've always been supportive,
And
though.
that's
I appreciate that.
and like I can be a supportive person and not understand.
Yeah.
You know, like and I was like, okay, like it's your love, like
Yeah.
and I just didn't understand the music either. Like it wasn't my type.
Yeah.
And now that I've turned it on so many times. I'm like, yeah, I just want to listen to Taylor Swift.
Yes.
Like it's the vibe right now. And
It's always the vibe.
it's always the freaking vibe.
Because she has all the
She
vibes.
has all the vibes.
Any vibe you want, she
100%.
has the vibe.
And I like the style. Like I've always loved Taylor Swift. Like obviously not to the extent that you do.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think she's a great human and
Yeah.
everything about her. Like I wouldn't say I'm like a full ass Swiftie, like nowhere near. But
But,
I
like,
love
there's levels. And,
yeah,
like, I'm at a level. There's certainly people who are, like, above me.
uh-huh. But I am definitely like I'm on the radar.
I love that. I love that a lot. That's
Yeah.
my new high.
So that well, thank you. I feel so honored. Um yeah,
Yeah.
so another thing is I've been last time we talked I like got off of med
Oh, yeah, yeah.
and that was good to get off of that, and now I'm not on
Mhm.
a new one, but I, like, upped what I'm already on,
Yeah.
so I'm on more Lexapro, and I've been living a great life lately,
Yeah.
truthfully, like,
Yeah,
I'm
you've seemed so good.
happy to be happy, and
Yeah.
I've had a lot of headaches, like, very bad headaches, and
But I
I
think that
there's
might be our
certain
body
things.
readjusting to the meds because when I first started, I had, like, all the symptoms.
Yeah. So
So then it, like, slowly wears
when I
off.
first started Lexapro, I had a very shitty experience.
You did remember you had to get the
Yeah,
bracelets. Yeah.
and
The, like, motion sickness
motion
bracelets.
sickness, like, I was sick, but I
Yeah.
knew that that's what happens, and I was off medication for a long time. Ooh, that's a look. That's a look, folks.
I don't know. I'm just
Okay,
experimenting.
experimenting. Anyway, so I was very sick, and I knew I didn't wanna switch like, I wanted to give it time to see if it was what it was, and I gave it time, and Lexapro has been great, and now I needed to up it, so, like, I do think it could be the side effect to that.
Yeah.
Another thing I also
You
had
also
to
hit your head like 5 times today
I did.
on your bookshelf with that damn
That is
noise.
true. And I
Yeah.
also just got my birth control updated, and like there are could be side effects with that.
Yeah.
And I'm sick, so like it's just everything.
Yeah.
And my head just really hurts. So
Yeah.
I can't blame it on anything
Yeah.
specific right now. But and
But
then
being
I
in the good mind space, it brings you to that.
yeah, so I've just had a great my headspace has just been great. Like it's been free and open and I've been putting that energy like working on things for school, which I just love my job. So I've
Yeah.
been able to like put a lot of time and energy
Yeah.
and stuff into that, which is always fun, like when you get to do something that benefits others.
Yeah.
So
For
yeah.
sure. And one thing with me for work is I took a sick day this
I
week.
know you did.
And it's so silly. It sounds really silly, but it's not. Like, I'm like super proud of myself for taking the sick day. I have been really bad about taking sick days, like even when I've like needed it. The only times I've taken sick days is when I've like puking and I like wouldn't be able to teach because I'd have to leave the room every 2 seconds to puke.
Mm-hmm.
And even then, like I came back too early from it and all that kind of stuff. But I took a sick day because I had a really bad cold, and like 100% I should have taken a sick day. But like I actually did it, and I'm like super proud of myself for it.
Yeah.
And
Proud
it's
of you
like
too.
a really good boundary that I'm
Mm-hmm.
finally putting in, and like my kids were fine. They were
And
totally fine.
and if they weren't, like it's still not
It's one day.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's still not your like
Yeah.
fault or your guilt or anything like that.
Yeah.
As teachers we have a lot of guilt.
Yeah.
And it's your you have to you have to be healthy in order to take care of others. So
Yes. Yes. But one thing I've also been really enjoying about work is we've been teaching some like extra classes, and they've been super fun.
What do you mean by extra classes? Because I actually don't know
Like
what
the
you're meaning.
slime and craft class.
Oh,
Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah. I was like, what? What?
Tyler's like, yeah, that's totally what we're doing. Sure,
Mhm.
sure. No, but I really enjoyed that too because academics are just always going up and up and up, and I could talk about that point forever, but it's so nice to just have like a fun time
Class.
with like kids because
Mhm.
that's at the end of the day that's what I love is the kids. So those have been really enjoyable for me
Mhm.
too
Yeah, so
because
we've
I
been,
don't
like,
always get
making
that.
slime and goop and
Yeah.
art projects, and, like, the one day it was, like, the art one specifically, it was so peaceful. Like, everyone
Yes.
was just crafting,
Yeah.
and it was so peaceful.
And like we've made like all the same stuff as the kids and it's so fun.
It is.
Like we have our little penguins hanging up in the hallway, and all the kids keep telling me how much they like it.
And, like, just the conversations that we got to have,
Hmm.
I think of the day that we made slime with those kids, like,
Yeah,
they were opening up to us. Like, we knew them for very little time, and the students were telling us about
everything.
everything, like, a issue he was having, an
Yeah,
issue they were having, and, like,
yeah,
how do we do this? And, like, I don't
yeah.
know. It was just so sweet.
It was really healing for me in a time when I've been really burnt out from my job,
Mhm.
and yeah, it's been really healing, and I
And
love that.
fun. Yeah.
Um, so what are you looking forward to?
I struggled figuring out things what to look forward to, and
I think in a way
it's
is it good because you're really just enjoying like the present.
mm,
That's good.
okay. I was like, maybe I need to like stop and think, but I don't know.
I think
Like,
it's good to have things to look forward to, but it's also good to like live in the present moment.
and I've growing up, like, I always wanted to have a plan, and I think it was because of the lack of plans I had in my life.
Lack of structure you had in your life for sure.
Uh-huh. And I was like, what's a plan? What's a plan? Like, what's the weekend plan? What are we doing on the weekend?
Yeah.
And I feel like I've come to like live like I don't need a plan
Yeah.
and just to live in the moment.
Yeah.
And I feel like I do a pretty good job of that.
That's something that you've helped me do too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think it's just like we said, lack of structure in my life growing up that taught me
Yeah.
that skill.
Yeah.
But
Which is honestly like obviously bad things came out of your trauma, but like there's good things too.
mhm,
And not to like have toxic positivity, but in
that
the
is
end,
one.
like it's your life and like you have to find the positives too.
100%.
So
So
yeah.
yeah, I mean, these are just kind of little, but yeah, living in the moment. Like, I'm excited for the Super Bowl game. I don't have
Yeah.
any plans, and like, it doesn't hurt me. Like, I
Okay.
don't have any.
See, when I told you what my plans were, I was a little worried about that.
No, like, I have
Okay.
no. No, like, yay that
Okay.
you're doing. Like, I have no. I am totally okay sitting at home watching the Super Bowl.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah,
I think that's really healthy.
great. Yeah,
Yeah.
like, obviously it would be fun, but I'm just really excited to watch the football game.
Yeah.
Like, it's gonna be a really good ass game.
Yeah.
49ers Chiefs.
Taylor Swift's
And
boyfriend's team, and then the other team.
yeah, I guess.
You're like, I'm
I
not
do
that
love it.
little.
And so Vikings are my top team. For my football people out there, it might just be myself and but I'm just gonna go on. I love football and I love the Vikings. Like, they're obviously top team, but I could not tell you my next best because it's between the 49ers and the Chiefs.
Oh, really?
And for me, like, this game, like, almost kind of feels like this could be the deciding factor in my life right now. Like,
Oh.
I love both of those teams so much, and the fact that they're playing each other feels like, "Oh my gosh, like, is this the deciding
Do
factor?"
they played each other in 2020? Who won?
I don't know. I wasn't really I in 2020, in 2021, I skipped football.
Oh,
I
okay.
had other things in my life that, like
Okay.
yeah. Anyway, so I wasn't, like, that into football in those years, so I don't even know, and I don't
Okay.
wanna know.
Okay. That's fine.
Don't tell me.
I don't know. I don't know.
But anyway, I love Brock Purdy, and I love Travis Kelce, and I love Mahomes. So it's just like, ugh, all these good people.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited for the game. And just on travel agent stuff, it's kind of been Like, I've just been taking it with a grain of salt, like, it's just gonna come when it comes, and it's gonna slow progress, but, like, every time we get, like, a little step closer to getting this stuff figured out, and I just found out that once I take this cruise training, I earn a free cruise off of it, and I'm like, "Whoa, that's fun," and I'm just excited, and I've, like,
Yeah.
told people now that I'm a travel agent, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I'll book through you," and it just, like,
Yeah.
is exciting.
And as soon as she like things just haven't been moving a little bit slower than she thought,
Mhm.
but as soon as we have it, like we will post it to our socials.
Yeah, so please hit me up because in, like, this past week, I was making, like, mock quotes, um, and, I just loved, like,
Yeah.
"This is the one that I think you would like, da 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 da, like, this is
Yeah.
why," and, like, doing a little research and, like,
Yeah.
it was like, this is right up my alley,
Yeah.
this
For
type of
sure.
thing. So, I'm just excited for that. What are you looking forward to?
Just some like family stuff. Like I said last week, we're gonna be going down to where my sister lives,
Is
or
that this
President's Day.
weekend?
No, President's Day weekend.
Okay.
Um, when we have like a day off of school.
2 days off.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then my one thing my parents talked to me about when they called me, like they have their winter vacation coming up, so I'm gonna go spend the weekend with my brother, which I get to do every year because they go on vacation every year. Blah. And not always with me, most of the time, not with me. But
Mhm.
guess who they always take? This is one of the first times ever they haven't taken my brother.
Oh.
Yeah.
How does he feel about that?
He doesn't care. He's just him.
Yeah.
Like
He's
he's
such a
just
go with the flow, man.
oh my gosh, he's so go with the flow. It's crazy. That's why when I tell him to drink water, he just does it because he's like, whatever.
Yeah.
Or like,
Interesting.
yeah. And then watching with him, we're like a week behind, so we're gonna have two to watch tomorrow. I was looking forward to pickleball these days. I got a new game that I bought myself for my birthday. My boyfriend promised me he'd play it with me this weekend, so I'm excited about that. And then I'm excited for Valentine's Day.
When
So
is that? 14th?
yeah, always.
Yeah.
But
I'm just like wondering, like, it's not next week, right? Because I'm
no.
not prepared for that.
And I also, like, I see a bunch of people online, they're like, my boyfriend hasn't asked me to be their Valentine. I asked him to be my Valentine.
Like, girls can?
I made, like, a cute, like, little Canva thing. I'll show it to you.
Okay,
But
cute.
it was really cute, like, asking to be my Valentine and then, like, told him our plans or whatever. Like, I'm totally fine planning it. I love it. So, yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to.
Hmm.
But should we dive into our super sad topic
Yeah, it's kind of depressing, the topic.
of depression?
Depression. we
Oh,
should we should laugh.
we
I
should
don't know.
laugh.
Laughing makes it a little lighter.
Yeah.
Um,
I
yeah.
think for me it's also later because I'm pretty removed from it, but like you just had a
Hmm.
lot of depressive stuff, so I'm sure it's a little bit more triggering for you.
Yeah, it's a little triggering, like, thinking about it right now. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I was just there.
Yeah.
And it feels weird to, like, know I was just there. Ugh.
Yeah.
It's just, but
Yeah.
I can do this. We can
You
do hard
could.
things.
You
And
totally could.
I'm in a good spot right now, so I'm not worried about any of that.
Okay,
So
perfect.
we're
Good.
good.
Great.
But please tell us, what is depression?
So, depression is a mental health disorder characterized by persistently depressed mood or loss of interest in activities causing a significant impairment in your daily life. So, like, depressed, like, means to, like, dampen. So, like, all of your emotions and stuff are, like, muted.
Hmm.
To the point where like the deepest depression, like you're very numb to everything. Like you don't really have feelings at that
Yep.
point anymore.
To me, numb is the best word to describe it.
Yeah.
Because someone asks you, how are you feeling? You can't put a name to it.
Yeah. And there's a lot of different ways I've heard people like describe it. Like one of the famous ones, the author of Harry Potter, who's kind of a terrible person, who is a terrible person, not kind of, like how she described it was the Dementors in Harry Potter. Like that really made sense to her. But some people talk about it like feeling like you're in a fog. Some people talk about like I always say like it feels very heavy.
Sometimes people feel disassociated.
Yeah.
Disassociation, which means like you're like looking at life,
You're very
looking at your life.
detached of everything.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of different ways to explain it. Like some people talk about just like the darkness that it feels like, and like everything seems kind of like black and white.
Yeah.
Or there's a lot of different ways you can describe it, but the thing is, like, you have to use these other ways to describe it because it's such like a intangible thing to describe.
And like no emotion can describe it, if that makes sense. Or feeling, because like obviously we have the feeling, like they're feeling buddies, like happy, sad. Like sad is not, you can't use sad as a
Sad
describe.
is not depression.
No,
That's different.
it is very different. So like there's not an emotion that can describe it. There's so many things with it. What causes it, Rita? I told you, you need to highlight if you want me to say something.
I just pointed, and I don't know how to highlight.
But Rita, guess what?
What?
I'm not mad at you.
Okay. Okay.
I did use my teacher voice.
You did use your teacher voice, yeah. But so there are some possible causes, and it can be a combination of biological, psychological, and social sources of distress. Increasing research has suggested that these factors may cause changes in the brain function, including altered activity of certain neural circuits in the brain. And this is like a persistent feeling of sadness or loss of interest that characterizes this like major depression. And the symptoms of it are like changes in sleep, appetite, energy levels, concentration, daily behavior, self esteem, and like all that stuff. Yeah.
Great.
You need me to sum that up a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, like the causes of it, it can come from several different things. And you've probably heard us talk about it, especially like in the anxiety episode, about like where is it coming from? Like, was it a trigger? Is it this? Is it that? And it can come from different things. Like it can be the chemicals in your brain.
It
can
also
be
be genetic.
triggers. It can be genetic. And like I think for both of us, it's usually a combination of all of those.
Yeah. And like there's not like it is a mental illness, so it is something like it's an illness just like any other illness.
Yeah.
But I feel like with a lot of other illnesses, there's a one point of contact. Like this is how it happened.
And that's what's hard about mental health is like it's not like if you have heart disease, there's a problem with your heart.
Yeah.
Like if you have this type of cancer, well, it's like these cells.
And it's because our brain is so complex and
we don't fully understand it.
That's why it's this. There's no one pinpoint.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah. But like the things that go along with depression are very physical. Like I said, like loss of appetite, sleeping changes, all that kind of stuff. A lot of time with depression, it's you sleep a lot more. Yep. Whereas anxiety, on the other hand, is like you sleep less.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And one thing I want to know, I was actually just reading my after therapy like notes, and
from the therapist.
From the therapist, okay. I didn't like realize. It was also when I was really depressed, so like not very healthy. Anyway, but like I have always had, not always, when I got diagnosed with depression and anxiety, like it's kind of just a basic baseline level of those things. Like, and then you can have severe anxiety if you have like panic attacks. Like you were probably going through like a severe anxiety level, and on my notes it said like diagnosis, and it was like depression and anxiety. Like that's what it was for like many of them. And then the past like few ones, it was like major depressive episodes.
Yep.
And it's like you can still have depression and not experience what I experienced the past few weeks.
Yep.
And still have it because like you don't know when it would come. Like because there's many triggers. Like for me, it could have been meds. It could have been the season. It could have been the triggers going on. Like you don't really know what's going to trigger it.
Yeah.
So it's not always going to look the same for everyone.
So the first time you were diagnosed with depression would have been high school, right?
The first time, yes, high school is the first time. It would have been freshman, junior, sophomore, I think.
Okay. Yeah.
Sophomore, senior year.
Yeah.
The two.
And how long do you think you had like suffered with it prior to the diagnosis? Or was it diagnosed pretty quickly?
I don't know. Again, I'm not good with my memory. I kind of block that shit out.
Which is fair.
High school was pretty shitty for me.
Yeah, same.
So definitely high school, like freshman year.
Yeah.
But I'm sure we could go back earlier than that.
Yeah.
But for sure, high school, freshman year.
Yeah. Um, I wasn't like technically diagnosed with it until junior year of high school, but the worst of it probably was freshman year of high school. But I definitely like if you look at my journal stuff from like middle school, like I was definitely depressed all through middle school.
Mm-hmm.
And like thinking back on it, oh my gosh, like there obviously like it wasn't like straight through, like there was like those depressive episodes where like things would be bad and then they'd get better and like all that kind of stuff. Um but yeah, they took me being suicidal, which can be a symptom of depression, for me to finally get diagnosed with it. And I feel like that's a pretty common thing. Like, you have to get really fucking depressed for people to take notice and, like, do anything about it.
And for me, it was a little bit different. I grew up in a household with my mother who was very depressed and went through a lot of shit in her life too.
Yeah.
And just being around that, it made me so aware of my emotions and how everything affected her. And I didn't experience those like deep suicidal things or like put those in like I wasn't recognizing it. I know I had them, but I didn't realize. Bro,
What?
I was depressed when I was a child.
Yeah.
I used to my bed thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's another trauma.
But like that's the thing is what I'm saying though is like I feel like depression is like very underdiagnosed. And like it doesn't happen until things are like pretty bad.
Mm-hmm. That's what it was with me because I was like, oh my gosh, my mom is going through hell right now. Like,
yeah,
is this what I'm experiencing too?
Yeah.
And then we like went to the doctor and did all that. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to share your like child depressive thing, you can.
Yeah.
It's up to you.
Like obviously, like there's a lot of trauma things that come up in or like memories that you think of as a child, and I think about them and then I realize like, oh, that was very traumatic that I went through.
Yeah.
Like, and normally in my brain it was just a memory.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, that's that. So I used to jump off the bed and like try and break my arm.
Yeah.
And we realized that that was like self-harm as a child.
Yeah.
Or I'd like, yeah, I would bite myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I did a lot of self-harm as a child.
Yeah.
And that's a form of like showing that you're depressed.
So that's kind of how it showed up as a child. When you're a teenager, how was it presenting?
And a teenager, do you know how it presented for you so I can think a little bit?
Yeah, of course. So like I said, mine started in like middle school and then like had ups and downs. And I would say it presented I think I was really I guess I'd have to ask the people who are around me. I think I was really good at hiding it and like putting on a fake face. But like this was a period of time where I had not so subtly been told that like my emotions were too much for other people. So I very consciously decided like I was going to shut down all of my emotions and going through the process of like figuring out how to do that was what I think really got me into the depressive episode. I think I was because of like genes and biology and whatever, like I think I was predispositioned for it. But I think that is really what led up to it was like me literally depressing all my feelings turned into actual depression. And I was like learning how to stop myself from crying, and I was, like, hiding in my closet to cry. Um, I was teaching myself how to, like, because you can tell after someone cries. Like, I was learning how to, like, use cold water and, like, shit to, like, make sure you couldn't tell, and, like, making sure that, like, when I was crying, like, I wasn't, like, touching my face at all because that's gonna make it more inflamed, and, like, um, I was just learning how to, like, get rid of all of my feelings, and pushing all of those down and, like, ignoring how I actually was feeling made me go into depressive state
Yeah.
where I eventually didn't know how I felt at
Mhm.
all, and I just stopped eventually having feelings, and it kind of built up until I got to, like, my freshman year of high school, and there was on top of just those, like, general feelings, there's also a lot of triggers going on with other girls, and I started completely, like, disassociating. Like, I would go through a day and not remember a single thing that happened at all, but, like, I was, like, laughing and smiling with people and, like, had on the face, and I was doing all the things, like, I was getting to go to bed on time every day, I was going to all the sports, I was going to all the clubs, but, like, I wasn't taking in any memories of it, I wasn't enjoying any of it, and from the outside looking in, like, people really couldn't tell, but I had no feelings attached to anything I was doing
Mhm.
at all.
It's crazy. Mine, I feel like you were very able to like pick it apart and like tell this was the depressive part.
Yeah.
For me, I don't know if it's because I'm not able to decipher it all or if it's just because it's all intertwined so much. As we know, anxiety and depression and ADHD is.
Yeah.
Like when I look back in my younger years, I I don't know, it just feels like it overlaps so much. Like I was bullied in fourth grade was when it all started, like friendships.
Mm.
When that kind of went downhill, like where I'd go home crying every day.
Yep.
Um, and that type of depressive and anxiety and that type of stuff went down. I would also go, ever since I can remember, I'd always say, like, I'm just in a mood. Like,
Mm.
that was my word. And now looking, I'm like, that was me saying, like, I'm in a depressive area and spot. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what the heck's going on right now, but like,
Yeah.
I'm not myself. And I'd be like, I'm just in a mood and I don't want to do it. I don't want to do that type of stuff or something that I normally like to do.
Yep.
Um, and now like as an adult recognizing like, oh, that was me not being able to like understand what was going on in my body.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me it just all interlaps, so I can't like say specific things.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can. It's very interesting.
Yeah. And I mean, there's a lot of things that led up to it. Like the initial trigger was my grandfather dying
Mm-hmm.
and like me having a lot of big emotions around that and the people around me not knowing how to handle that at like my developmental level
Mm-hmm.
that I was at. And so that triggered it too. And then on top of that, there was a lot of shifts in like friendship relationships that were happening that didn't necessarily have to be traumatic, but it ended up being because of everything that was going on. And then there's just a lot of life changes that all like happened at one time that like all built up into something that like I couldn't handle
Yep.
by myself and like I wasn't getting the support that I needed. So like grandpa dying, the friendships changing, and then also I had had a lot of support through schooling up until this point, and then I I had a lot of support because of an eye issue I had, and then that was fixed. So then all of my support it was there, and then it was just all gone. Like there was no like weeding off of it. There was no like nothing, and in my head, I was like, "Oh, I've been faking it and, like, trying to make them, like, think I'm not dumb and, like, blah, 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 blah."
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden it's gone, and I was like, "Crap, like, I tricked them so much, I don't have this, and I am not smart enough to do the things." And in a way, like, that was actually kinda true, like, I didn't have all the background knowledge and everything I needed to be successful, and then I had the supports taken away, and I didn't know what I was doing, and I was really struggling, and so it was like all three of those things like put together, and then I was just like an emotional mess, and then my emotions were too much for the people around me, and so then I just shut it all down. I shut it all down. I lost who I was as a person. I lost like finding joy in my life. I lost having like deep, meaningful friendships. I like all of it was just like gone, and it was gone for a lot of years. Like it really was. Like when I finally like truly started healing from this, I was in my like early mid 20s, and I had to build myself from scratch. Like I didn't know who I was. I didn't know any emotions. Like I was finally feeling emotions, but I could not name a single one of them. And I didn't know how to like properly react to things. I didn't know how to connect with people. Like my depression like stole like a huge chunk of my life. And that's not to say like friendships I had in there were like completely like nothing, but or like that there wasn't good memories and there wasn't good parts, but like overall, like I was depressed for so long that I lost who I was.
And I could be very off, but hearing what you're saying, like it kind of to me feels like there was a time where you were not depressed.
What do you mean?
And I could be very off. This is just my inkling, and we can cut this out too.
Yeah.
But am I saying this right? Like, I think our depressions are very different how it shows up, how it showed up in our life.
Okay.
Like, to me, from what you were saying, like, you can pinpoint how you got depressed. Like, with your, like, you felt, you can, you discovered how you got depressed.
Yeah.
I can't discover that.
Yeah.
So does that kind of mean like that's where it's like truly, truly chemical imbalance in my brain?
Maybe, but I feel like I have like a predisposition for it too. Like
In
all of those
addition,
things could have happened and I could have been okay. Like my reaction to like my grandfather dying was very outsized for like what had happened.
okay. So I my then going off of kind of like what you're saying,
Yeah.
I had a I then my reasoning for having depression or like whatever pinpointing
Yeah.
trigger points.
Which, and if you have depression, like you do not have to like know why, and you don't even have to be curious about why. But I was really curious, and like I had to go back through and like heal those traumas because they were never healed.
And maybe
And like
that's
that's
why
why I know
and maybe that's
because
why
I had to
I'm
go
not
back.
there.
Okay.
That's probably it.
Okay.
Because I don't think I have I'm still just getting out of these major depressive episodes where I think I haven't gone back to heal.
Okay. Yeah.
Because
sure.
I'm thinking of like my big, I had a lot of traumatic incidents in my life. Early childhood, I went through, experienced a lot of deaths at a young age. My aunt died of suicide. My mom attempted suicide several times. Me witnessing her walking in. Several like severe panic attacks from my mom, where like having to get hospitalized due to them.
Yeah.
Like marriage issues with my parents, parenting issues, um, death of my grandma and grandpa, who I was very close with. Like they were a second parent to me.
Yeah.
My other grandpa died the following year of a heart attack, so very sudden. My cousin died of overdose on drugs, and it's just like my whole life has always felt like shitty situations, shitty things happen, trauma after trauma. Like my parents having to go bankruptcy. Like it was just constant trauma in my life. And
Well, and I even think of like your schooling stuff because that was a big thing for me. Like your struggles in school is also trauma.
and that's what I think of
Like you
too.
have
Like,
school trauma too.
and I was bullied like
Yep.
from fourth grade until 10th grade. Like I was like bullied all every single year, and that's a lot. I obviously anxiety. Like I didn't go to school because I had stomach aches. Like, I would skip school so often. Like, there's so much where it's hard for me to, like, pick it apart. And yeah, I haven't healed from a lot of it. Then I was in an abusive relationship. That kind of for me was the breaking point.
Yeah.
And after I was in an abusive relationship, I was not healthy. I did not like myself. I did not love myself. I was pushing away friends and family.
Yeah.
And that was my something, it's a dumb trigger breaking point of like what put me in the hospital. But at that point, it didn't need to be much. And I then overdosed on medication, and I didn't want to die. I knew it when I took the medication. I didn't want to die. I knew how much I took and I knew that it wouldn't kill me, but I didn't know how else to get help.
Yep.
And that was the only thing that I could do, and that was my only escape and way out.
Yeah.
Which put me into a mental hospital, which that's a crazy story too. That's quite the story too. But then after coming out of that, like, I don't know, there's still big traumas, big T's after that, but I was at least in a better headspace and mentally learning how to love myself again and that type of thing.
Yeah.
But that was quite the rabbit hole, and I'm very sorry to the listeners. But
Oh, no. I mean, I think that's what you're going to get out of this episode, because whereas, like, our anxiety episode, like, I think we both obviously struggle with anxiety, but, like, and anxiety is very serious, but depression is dark.
Yeah.
It is very, very dark. And obviously we're painting with some broad strokes, because from 4th grade to 10th grade, it's not like you never had anything good happen to you. But, like, good things can happen to you while you're still depressed, and you can still have good friends while you're depressed. And I think that's also why it's not caught all the time, because you could throw a smile on. You could literally be thinking about wanting to end your life and be, like, laughing with your friends.
Mm-hmm. And it goes back to what I think I said in the beginning of this episode. Like, my friend literally told me, you need to put a smile on your face to get through the day. And that's literally what I had to do to survive.
Yep.
I wanted to kill myself. And that's not normal.
No.
Obviously.
Can we pause?
Yeah.
Did you, like, hear that on the headphones?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Anyway, on pause.
But yeah, so I just think it shows like how much people can fake it till they make it, but you can only fake it so long.
Yeah.
Like, even for example of myself, like, I went to work every day that I was depressed, and I would come home, I'd lay on the floor and not do a single thing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't look at my phone, I wouldn't do anything. Like, that's not normal.
My, like, middle school and high school, what I would come home and do, I would make a bag of popcorn and sit down and watch Gilmore Girls. Like, and it's still to this day a complete comfort show, because, like, nothing else in my life, like, a lot of times, a lot of the other things in my life didn't really feel real to me, and, like, that's what I had, like, was their life. And, like, I just soaked that in.
And I think that's so cool that you give that example, because, like, depression can look so different in people. Like, yes, I could lay on the floor and not do a single thing.
And I've definitely done that before, too, for sure.
But it also could be, like, disassociating from life. And I've done that, too.
Yeah.
Like,
and, like, when she says, like, laying on the floor and not doing anything, we mean literally not doing anything. She's not looking at her phone. She's not coloring. She's not, like, there's not a TV on. There's not a podcast on. Like, there's not music. Like, you're just laying there.
And when you're healthy, when you're mentally healthy, I can lay on the floor. Like, it's so different, because when I'm mentally healthy, I can lay on the floor and I can still think. I can think about things. I can think, oh, like, what should we do tomorrow? Like, when I say I laid on the floor and did nothing, my brain is not doing anything. There is no thinking. There is nothing going on.
Yeah.
It's so odd, but, like, that's what it is.
It is. And it's scary. It's really scary.
And the reason that the depressive or suicidal things come in because you're like, there's nothing else to think about. Your brain can't conceptually, or is it abstractly? I think conceptually, like think any differently. So
Yeah.
that's the place your brain ends up going.
Yeah. And it's not like you're not consciously deciding like, oh, I want to take my own life. Your brain is telling you that.
Mm-hmm.
Like your brain is saying like it is never going to get better. Like you're never going to feel good things again. Nobody loves you. Like it is telling you the worst, most awful things you can't even imagine.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
Yeah, and so there's two different types of like suicidal ideation. There's suicidal thoughts. Like there's ideation, suicidal ideation, which is more passive thoughts,
Yep.
which is what I experienced, and it's where you're like, oh, I wish I could be dead. Oh, I wish a car ran me over. Like there's those type of things, and then there's like making a plan.
Yeah.
And they're two very different things. And suicidal ideation is actually very common,
Yep.
and it's what you do with the thought
Yes.
that truly matters.
Yes.
It is normal and it is common to have.
Yeah.
It's just how you handle it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So I think we're here. So how do
you
we
manage it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry. I was pointing.
Yeah. How do you manage it? I mean, for one thing, we are on medication.
But you gotta find what works for you.
Yeah.
And like we talked about with anxiety,
Yeah.
it's a long road. It can be a long road to figure out what medication is gonna work for you.
Yeah. And to get where I am right now, I did very intense therapy for like quite a few years. And like when I started, it was once a week. And it was hard work. Like I was not just like sitting down. Like I was putting in the work. I was putting in the work there, therapy. I was putting in the work all week at home by myself. And I had to find all the different things that you put together that gets me into a healthy spot. And like for me, that was therapy, journaling, medication, and like my support system.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what I needed to get out of depression.
Yep.
And then I had to learn how to like myself and who I was first, I guess.
So lots of things, yeah.
Yeah, there's like it was a lot of work. It was very intense.
It is a lot of work, and that's what's so hard about it. Like, especially when you're in a major depressive episode, like we talked about earlier, like you can't see the end.
Yep.
Like you can't see anywhere past the future.
Yeah, and at first it was like survival mode, and then like I had to go back and heal a lot of past trauma that I had never had the chance to work through and understand. And it depends on who you are and how you think about things, but I liked to like fully understand what happened so that I did not hold other people in like everyone was doing the best with what they had, and like why things happened was like very important for me to go back and figure out and dissect and then learn how to heal from it. And that was healing from it was writing letters to my younger self. Healing from it was learning how to find out, like learning how when like that past stuff was coming up to like talk to the younger me and like kind of separating out sections of my life. And yeah.
I just love this episode because you're getting two like very different perspectives.
Yeah.
So like you've healed from a lot.
Yes.
I have not healed from really any of my past traumas yet. Like I haven't even in therapy, like that has not been something we even have gotten to.
Yeah.
Like right now, the past 3 years, and I'm freshly out of the psych ward. Like it hasn't been 5 years yet.
Yeah.
So like that's fresh.
Yeah.
In all honesty. So like there's a lot of healing to even start. And when big T's keep coming up in your life, it's hard to go back and try and heal when you're trying to heal the present moment right now and get into a survival mode. And that's hard. And shit, what was I gonna say? But one thing that therapy, like what I really like, obviously talk therapy is great, and I just love like talking about my life and the current issues and things going on, and we talk about that. But what I think we talked about it in the therapy episode. What's that called? Treat yourself. About how the DBT skills have taught me, and like that's what I've been using right now to like get through my depressive moments in the moment. Major depressive episodes in the moment is being mindful.
I was just thinking that was another thing that we worked on a lot was being mindful.
Yeah, and like that's how I'm able to like get out of that. Like even with the suicidal ideation, like I was able to be mindful of that and recognize it, and then I was like, okay, what am I doing with it? I knew as Tyler that I did not want to leave or lose my life. It was like, okay, so what do I need to do to get out of this? I need to level myself and things like that. So it's just, I feel like it's just so different because like I haven't yet healed, and that's so cool that I still have the life to go on and like I can heal from this.
I love that you said that because initially when you like started talking about this, how you're not healed from a lot of it yet, I was so sad. And I think that was me going back to that place like before I had healed a lot of stuff. But then it changed to like excitement. Like you have so much more life to live. You have so much more to learn. And you have a whole new person you get to be after the healing has happened. And it's
And I think
so
it's so
beautiful.
cool. It is I could cry. Like I have so much freaking trauma in my life, and I'm gonna grow. Like oh my gosh,
like it's the trauma does not make you. Like
no, it doesn't
you are
define a
so
person.
much more than that. So much
You're
more.
so much more than your trauma. I'm crying. I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry. Like it's honestly,
It's so beautiful.
it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so excited for you.
I'm excited too.
Yeah.
Like I've never thought about like that. I've never like healed any of it,
Yeah.
and it's hard. Like it hurts.
It does hurt. Like I think I told you earlier, like I feel like so much sadness towards like older versions of myself. Like 16-year-old me is who I think a lot. And I feel so much sadness for her. But I also feel so much peace in the present me who like doesn't have to feel those things anymore.
Yeah. And I just think that's so
For
cool.
the peace that is coming for you.
And I feel
It's
like
gonna make it all
I can't wait. I literally can't wait.
Yeah.
So I can't wait
And
to
you're
know.
working towards it.
I am. And like trauma's still gonna come up, and I'm still like it's inevitable.
And all those pieces are still going to be a part of your story, but they don't have to be the whole story.
And like the biggest thing is like you are not your trauma.
Yeah, 100%.
And
You're whoever you want to be. Yeah.
cool. Well, sorry to make it emotional.
No, dude, how is an episode about depression not going to be emotional? Like how?
Very true. Very true.
Oh, I don't know. I don't even want to talk about the misperceptions of it because
I don't want it to enlighten it at all.
Yeah, because it's like we said, it's super, super dark. It's super, super serious.
So real.
So real. Check in on everyone. Your happy friends, your sad friends, your friends you haven't seen in forever. It's very common, and it's very real, and it's very scary. It's very dark. And when you're in that place, you just don't know how to ask for help. Like I remember I used to have these like I want to say like visions. Like I had these visions of someone asking me if I was okay, and me like the initial response like yeah I'm fine, but then being like are you okay, and then like knowing that they were like really truly asking me if I was okay. So when you ask someone if they're okay, ask it truly and be open to what they have to say because that is what I dreamed of for so long.
I totally know exactly how
And
you feel.
and I found out later, like, I didn't need anyone else to save me. Like, I could save myself.
But when you're in that
yeah,
deep dark hole, you can't.
yeah. And like, honestly, there's so many people who saved me. I saved me, and like, I'm the hero, the heroine in my own story. But like every superhero movie, there's so many people who helped along the way. I'm so grateful for each and every one of them. And even their small parts that they played.
I know last episode you asked like what got me through it,
Yeah.
and I just think that's important. Like asking people if they're okay and like truly meaning it, and if they say, yeah, but like ask it again and say, are you truly okay? Or like go in depth.
And
And
keep
I just
asking, like, they may not be ready to tell you yet.
and bug them. Who cares if they're annoyed? Like if they're depressed, eventually they're gonna like spill it all out to you.
Yeah.
Like be the annoying person who keeps checking in.
Yes.
Like my one friend, she was like, I know I'm annoying, but I just need to keep checking in. Or, was that you? I don't know, someone said that to me. And like sending the overused I love yous or like you deserve to be on this earth or like all the
I'm so glad you're here.
all of
Like,
it.
that's why I always say that in this episode, because that's something I needed to hear, and I want to tell everyone
that daily.
That's how I greet my kids in the morning.
Me too.
Say, oh, I'm so glad you're here. Because I'm glad they're here.
I am.
I'm glad everyone's here. I'm just
so
happy you're here.
My church, we have shirts that we got. Like if you volunteer to be like a helper, that type of thing.
Yep.
We got shirts to be on that crew, and it says, "I'm so happy you're here."
Yeah.
And that's where like mine started saying that, and I have that shirt, and I just love it. I'm like, yes, I want to make a shirt for everyone that says that.
Yeah. And to kind of go back on some of the traumas that you had said, like you talked about the people you've lost to mental health struggles, whether it was suicide or overdose or all those kind of things. And I know I have lost someone to suicide, and I know people very close to me who have lost people to suicide, and we know people in the community and like all this kind of stuff who have lost people to that. And I like we're not gonna look back at like what we could have done or what other people could have done because we don't have time machine to go into the past. But like looking forward, looking forward. No, it's okay. I'm good. Looking forward, like you can be the person who saves someone's life, and it's not gonna be like a dramatic, picture perfect movie moment. But your smile, your I love you, your message, your question could save a life.
Like even if you're mad at someone,
you have that power.
You have the power. You can never put the guilt on you, but you can always say that you've tried.
Yes. And I know people listening to this like might have lost people to it, and I am just really glad to say like we aren't two people that people have lost to it.
Yeah.
Like we survived it and we're here, and it's all gonna be okay.
Yeah.
We love you so much.
And then I just think we gotta take advantage when we're in these healthy mindsets, like to check in with people, to say that I love you, to just do it all. So
can we skip deep today?
Yeah,
because we already went too deep.
We went way too deep.
Yeah.
Here we are. Let's lighten up the mood.
Yeah. Reading, watching, or listening.
Yeah, reading, watching, or listening. So I was busy this week.
Yeah.
And
It's a busy month.
Yeah, it's a busy month. Just got a long schedule. And I like being busy, so when I have the time to chill, my chill time is like just hanging on my phone or not doing much of anything. So I only have been reading Aristotle in 90 minutes. I'm a big Aristotle fan now. I went to 2 private colleges for time periods, and so I took like 5 philosophy or Christian philosophy classes, and they all somehow talked about Aristotle's and Plato's, and Also, I learned something new in this Aristotle.
Oh my god.
I love
Turn the
Aristotle.
podcast off now.
Aristotle is my man.
Well,
You know Socrates?
Yeah.
Yes. His name is not Socrates. It's Socrates.
I'm
And
so
I just
sorry.
think that's so fascinating.
Socrates is so fascinating.
Yes, because everyone calls him Socrates. And his name is not Socrates, it's Socrates. Okay, I just love Aristotle. That's all. That's all, folks. That's all I've been doing.
Okay, great.
On to you.
I know, like you say, I'm reading Midnight Library, but you'll see there's no bookmark in there, so it's kind of wild.
You hope to start this.
Yeah. And then
We did start a new book called Look. It's called The Way I Used to Be.
yeah,
I haven't started reading it
no, I
yet.
haven't started reading
But
it either. I'm a little salty because it's not the one I voted for, so I'd get over that.
Yeah.
But then I'm still watching Shadow and Bone with my boyfriend, and then when I was sick, you know what I watched?
Oh my gosh, I just read it. Don't tell me you're one of those.
No, I'm actually not. Like, I really don't like what they represent. But
Okay.
I did some like my list. I watched Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
I've never seen that
And the
show.
one thing I'm gonna say about it is I don't love how they portray body image and like all that kind of stuff. Like I think it's really damaging. I think they've done a lot of damage to the world, but like it's kind of funny.
Oh gosh, don't even tell me that. I'm gonna watch it.
No, don't watch it. Don't watch it. Don't watch it. Don't do it. But yeah,
You did watch it.
I did watch it. And it is what it is. But I just want to give a shout out to Spotify. Their like mixes, playlists that they've been making for me lately have been really good. So thanks, Spotify.
Yeah. Also, thanks Tyler, because Tyler always picks the best playlists.
You do pick the best playlists. You do.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Moving on. What is something new?
So since I didn't do it last week, I really I just really want to do it this week. I have a tidy room, and like tomorrow I plan to have like a reset day and like get the rest of my laundry done. And if it's really just my laundry, that makes it bad.
Yeah.
And then like tidy up everything and just try and have a tidy room again for the next following week.
I really need a reset tomorrow. I need to clean the bathrooms and I need to dust really badly.
Also need to do our paper, which also is annoying, but
whatever. Yeah, whatever. And then the other thing is I've been using my like hat for my hair.
Mm-hmm.
And it's good. I'm just trying to figure out how to have it good for more than one day.
Is it not like, what is it?
Like the second day it's all like smush.
Is it like fabric? Like what type of material?
Well, it's the one our friend got me. Like silk and satin.
So I can't use it more than one day.
No, like I'm saying my hair isn't good after a day.
Oh.
I don't know, whatever. I'm working on it. But I feel like we should go now.
Okay. Bye, friends.
Bye, friends.
That was
We're
so
so
We're so happy you're here, though. Like, truthfully. And I love you, and we love you.
And if this is like the first episode you've listened to, I swear it is not always this dark and deep.
But I do want to leave you with something.
Okay.
There is a depression. There is a depression helpline, suicidal helpline, and the world needs to know about it. And it's 988, and you can text it, you can call it. I've taken advantage of it, and you can do any, like, please just do that if you have any of those thoughts, even if it's not like, even if they're just passive.
Yep.
Like, that's what I do, is I text it because I know that I know that someone is in my court who knows how I'm feeling.
Yep.
Or make a plan with someone else. So
Awesome.
that's all I got.
That's all we got for you folks. We'll talk to you next time.
Me too.
Bye.